Ladies and gentlemen, oh, it's Thursday, November 20th, 2014, and welcome to the Day 9 Day, where we learn to be a better gamer. We're somewhere in the 700s with these episodes. It doesn't matter what number it is, it matters the fact that we are doing Life versus Taeja. I am so excited for this match, and if you're seeing the energy in me, some of it is because I'm excited for this match. The remainder of it... Oh, shit, I forgot to eat dinner. I have it right here. I didn't eat dinner, but I did drink coffee. So I guess that's why I'm awake. Be careful when you drink coffee, kids, because it will kill your appetite, you will forget to eat, and when you're in a good mood, it's very easy to overlook food. And that's a rare thing for me to overlook food. In today's show, we're going to be reviewing Life vs. Taeja from the round of 4 of BlizzCon, because this is the third in the 4-part series of watching Life on his championship road to BlizzCon. I do this because it was a shaky road. Or I'm over-caffeinated and I'm just like that. In this series, we got the chance to see one of the reasons why Taeja is just the winningest player of all time. 11 Premier Tournament titles. He didn't win BlizzCon this year. Life obviously won the series, but I really kind of feel like Taeja's the best player in the world. So we're going to get the chance not just to look at how great Life is, but also to give some respect and pay some little naughty dues to Taeja. Naughty dues. Pay your dues. Nod to him. I combine them into naughty dues. That's right. That's why I wouldn't say that's why they pay me the big bucks, because no one pays me. I do this myself. Let's hop into the game and talk a little bit about Best of X series. In a Best of X series, game number 1 generally sets the tone for the entire series. We generally see the craziest plays in the first game or the most interesting prepared strategies, and Nimbus is a very hard map to have any prepared strategy on. These center expansions suck for Zerg. I mean, you get the 3 bases guaranteed, which is great. The person who I really am impressed with in this game is Taeja. So, given that this is a Life daily, I'm going to start by looking at Life a little bit. Oh my god, I'm also going to be laddering all the way up to Legend tomorrow. At least that's the attempt. I'm rank 7 right now. I'm hoping that I can get to rank 4 tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. 7 to 8 hours of gameplay, hitting rank 4. That's the hope. We'll see if I do it. So, because Life sucks for Zerg on this map, I'm always interested to see what Zergs do. I think 3 hatch before pool is an acceptable opening. I think it can be tricky, generally speaking, but, I mean, the Reapers are a problem, but 3 hatch before pool, why? It's a little risky, but damn it, we really need these center expansions. Most Terran players are going to do something a little bit command centery. A little bit command centery firsty. So, we're going to see Taeja do some stuff. Taeja does a wonderful play in this game, and we're going to ignore it at first, because I want to make sure that we watch Life. Again, this is a Life-based daily, and don't you worry, Game 2 is going to get so much focus. We're not even going to spend that much time on this first game, because it's a very by-the-book look. We want to see what went awry for Life, so let's go ahead and go look at the Life cam. He goes hatch first. Oh, that's right, I can't zoom out if I have one player's vision selected. Alack, alack, alack. Life does a very normal build. Hatch first, then he gets his gas, then he gets his pool, so that way he can get the speed oh so fast. Doesn't want to get too many lings, wants to get the drones, but does get enough to be able to do interesting things. And Life does this so much. Look at what these lings are doing. They travel the path like this. They do a little roundabout-a-do. Most players are just like, and they send it like this. Life is deliberately trying to avoid the central watchtower, so he's going to be doing one of these. And that makes these Zerglings deal a crap ton more damage. If you have ever watched the daily a lot, at any period of time, ever, you will notice that the camera's out of focus. Is it out of focus? I look out of focus. Am I out of focus? I adjust this focus so much. Never feels right. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I switched the mixer to this image of me, and I was just shocked to find that I was there. Look at... Wow. Wow, Sean, your head is rounder every day. It's because I'm getting more and more adorable. Ding! That's why I'm getting a personal trainer to help me work off some of the adorability. Ooh. Who needs a New Year's resolution when you get shocked daily? What are we talking about? Oh yeah, if you've ever watched The Daily at any point in time in the history of The Daily for a stretch, you'll hear me emphasize something again and again and again and again and again. Fast is the thing you want. The push is not good because it has 3 tanks and 10 marines. It means if you do a 3-tank, 10-marine push whenever you want, might not work. A 3-marine or 3-tank, 10-marine push is good in this particular circumstance at this particular time because it is fast. It is fast. 99% of what makes something good in StarCraft is that it is done fast. You have 3 bases, and that's great because you got them quickly. Getting 3 bases eventually might be terrible. Fast is the word. But what's going on in that other 1% is doing as Goldilocks does and attacking at just the right time. This is a very, actually probably the simplest example of all. Some build orders will delay a drop to hit it at a more vulnerable time. I'm not even going to do anything so complicated as talk about those. These Lings, very easy to say, oh great, Lings beeline path towards the opponent's base, but I love that Life has taken the opportunity to go around. It's going to get there a little later. It's going to get a little bit more damage in there. And Life doing what one would expect. Trying to expand as fast as possible. For any of you who don't know your timings, 6 minutes is typically when this hatch goes down. It's a very normal time for this hatch to get planted. As we can see, we have some resources piling up. We're about to get some larvae to pop off, so we'll see a little bit the economic effect of this in a moment. Many players do not try to sneak in this expansion right now because of this juncture at about 5:25 is when typically happens. All the larvae are going to pop off. We're roughly broke, so we're going to be floating larvae for a touch. So we have 2 larvae here and just 1 larva here. I want everyone to see this, that Life is making sure that the larva doesn't exceed 3 on any one hatch because he doesn't have the money. Really appreciate this moment. We're going to back up 10 seconds. I mean, really appreciate this because this is very subtle. You hold on to larvae in very specific ways. Well, you know what's really easy to do? Right when this pops off, you just hit the select all the damn hatches button. Boink! You just hit drone. All these larvae fill up first because they just popped off. And then you have 4 or 5 larvae. Actually, they haven't quite landed. You have all these 4 larvae that land. It's very easy to leave 4 larvae here and no larvae here. What happens when you do that? This hatch stops producing larvae naturally. It completely stops producing larvae to make sure that you don't exceed the, basic amount, which is 3. So Life right here with 3 larvae here and 1 larva here actually goes to this hatch specifically to build the drones. Great, now that we've dropped down to 2 larvae, we can begin to produce larvae again naturally from the hatch. The chat, you're not losing your minds at this. That's awesome! Isn't that awesome? You can sneak in the hatch. Oh no, I can't build with all of my larvae. Don't worry, I'll just leave 1 or 2 at every single hatch until my money count goes down and I can spend all of it. Oh! God dang, that's hot! Oh yeah! Look at this. He's actually individually managing the larvae. Look at how broke he is. He's broke! Oh my god! But he's making sure that just a little bit of larva stays at each place, and then eventually he will catch up, and just now he's caught up. Boom! What a sick, slick, insane monster. Oh my god, we're even seeing hashtag mindblowns. Thanks, Knights. I appreciate that so much. Well, we were losing our minds at that incredibly legit-ass move right there. Remember these Zerglings that snuck all the way around? Life has a potential opportunity to slip up this ramp, and almost does. Tries to block it, barely misses that opportunity. I mean, that's really cool. That's why we like to go around. Alright, so let's go ahead and come back like this. Yes! Life's getting up his Queen Aruhas, getting drones up. This hatch is coming out mighty fast, so Life's got to get ready to get a queen on it. 630 putting back in gas. 630 getting an extra geyser. No surprises here. Oh my god, what a mind-blowingly intelligent and smart move that was done just there. Baneling Nest getting built. Why? Well, we got this hatch kind of early, man. We got this hatch actually quite a bit early. So we're going to build an excess of drones. And not as many lings, just in case there's something scary. 4 queens there, just to defend this, just in case something scary happens. And we have so much larvae. All the larvae. 6 queens. You're starting to see stylistically how Life has been playing. Very heavy Ling and Queen mixtures, getting the double evolution chamber to get, obviously, upgrades for Zerglings. And we're seeing another kind of unique thing that is unique to Life. Getting an extra stockpile of Zerglings at a seemingly random time. Now, before we talk about what those Lings are going to be used for, we have to talk about how nice it is that getting this 3rd hatch so much earlier. I mean, it was built a minute earlier, which is it's basically, I think, 7 or 8 larvae extra that Life gets, that he gets to turn into drones, or Zerglings. So, I mean, 16 Zerglings, no problem. These are 16 free larva Zerglings. We have lost no larva. So great. And I like this play. Life delays his layer, emphasizes upgrades. He's getting this expansion up sooner. He's going to have more drones. He can have more minerals or more gas, but I've always loved Life. Gets so much larva. He macros up super duper duper hard. But Life doesn't really know terribly much what's going on right now. This Overlord is being kind of a hero, monitoring right here, trying to just keep an eye. Is there, in fact, an expansion? Is there an expansion? The drone count just got high so fast. We're already at 69 drones. And look at this. A 10-minute 4th base. We have a Carapace upgrade. I mean, this is a freaking amazing build. We're going to have a lot of Zerglings. We're going to have a lot of drones. How is it that a Zerg player survives on a map like Nimbus? Well, I mean, the short answer is you just get a crapload of bases ahead of Terran, and you just overwhelm them, you overrun them. And this is basically what Life's doing. A typical standard-looking build, but if you zoom in, you're starting to see stuff happening at such an incredible pace. Pneumatized Carapace, I mean, 1-1 coming up. 1-1 going to be done and done. Drones already emerging. How many drones are we at? We're at almost 80 drones. Look at this work. Not even at 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Actually, 11 to 12 is when a typical player is eagerly getting his... Sometimes 4th base is starting around now. Sometimes we're starting to see Mutalisks begin to pop out. Some Mutalisks are a little bit late, but Life has been super secure this whole time. Taeja's drop timing is amazing. Lifts up everything but the Marauder, which we'll come back to. We'll appreciate this in more detail soon. The fact that Life is injected... The fact that Life has just so many hatches so quickly, this is a lot of stuff to get so fast. This is kind of how he's able to barely stay alive here. But barely doesn't cut it when you're against Taeja, and soon enough, Life's gonna die. Which stinks, but never be confused. This is a hard thing to have done, what Taeja just did, and a brilliant build order by Life. So what the hell went on with Taeja? As much as I'm appreciating and loving what Life did this game, with his opening to get all his stuff up, he's losing. How the hell did losing happen in all this? Let's come to Taeja. Let's appreciate him. I mean, this is what looks like a normal game, right? Terran goes 3 command center. Zerg gets a lot of Ling Baneling and is going for mutas, but a timing attack from Terran kills him. The end. It's a story you've heard 1,000 times, seen 1,000 times, but guess what? These players did it with such finesse! Oh my god, it was amazing to see. Here's step 1 of what I'm loving about Taeja. What do Terran players normally do? Well, Typically, what we see Terran players do is get a refinery, go for Hellions, while getting a third command center, and add on some barracks to stay alive. We've seen... okay, here, let me phrase it like this. There's a typical way to play, which is use Hellions and Marines to stay alive while you're getting some medevacs. And then eventually we get a whole bunch of barracks and upgrades and Marine Marauder Mine and all that sort of stuff. But it's sort of like Phase 1 is the Hellions, Phase 2 is Hellion Marine Medevac, Phase 3 is the big Marine Marauder Mine endless pushing kind of stuff. So, cool, right? It's easy to find a build for that, call it standard, and then anytime one of your friends deviates from it and loses, you say, oh, that's what happens when you don't play standard. But here we're going to see a non-standard way to do all this that just gets stuff fast. One geyser at 16. Sometimes what people like to do is get either a fast Reaper to have this refinery up early, or get the second geyser, so that way they can get this factory faster. Just one refinery. Taeja is not looking to get his factory very fast. I mean, this is not a big delay when compared to getting two geysers, but with a single geyser, it's a little bit more focus on the minerals. Now, you'll hear me say this a lot. A worker mines 40 minerals a minute. So if you have 3 workers not on gas, that's 120 minerals a minute. It's hundreds of extra minerals piling up over time. Hundreds of extra minerals. Wonderful. Trio of Marines getting built. It's going to be a lift and a land. So this command center. Not going to worry so much about what the exact timing is. It's a little bit later. Or excuse me, oh Jesus, I said the exact wrong word than I intended to. It's a little bit earlier than a typical command center. Just a little bit. Just a little bit earlier. This starport was a really weird sight to see. Why would a player get a starport so fast? Typically we'd say, oh, it's because Taeja wanted to go for Banshees, but there's no geysers here. Also, look at the money. The money's very, very high. You know what's another thing that happens when you delay your factory a little bit? You're not building Hellions. Hellions are a very expensive unit. Very, very, very expensive unit. Because they build so quickly and you can build them in pairs. So money typically is plummeting right now for a Terran player. He does not have that much cash in the banks. Taeja getting his extra geyser just gets this Viking up. Just a single Viking. This is about the only time that you'll see a player swiftly get a starport like this. So we normally see the extra engineering bays right around now. What a lot of players had been doing was going double engineering bay to some trouble, so they built the 2 barracks first. Stim getting started. I mean, this is looking a little bit typical, just with that Viking being there. But these engineering bays are being built pretty darn quickly. The Hellions, this is one thing that I find interesting about Taeja's play. He's just not interested in getting Hellions fast. He wants a lot of Hellions eventually. This winds up being a weakness of his as in later series because he's so vulnerable to all-ins. But in this beautiful early game match, he's just delaying a little bit and now has pure containment and is looking good. Alright. So Taeja's pace for everything by delaying. He doesn't even have these 2 geysers yet. Sometimes players will get 3 geysers quickly, but not 4. Taeja is going to get his 1-1. Look at his cash. All of it's so low. How are we doing on time? I'm going into so much detail on this because I like it a lot. But I mean, this is a lot of map control from Taeja by cutting a lot of corners. Not cutting a ton of corners. I don't want to use the term cutting corners. He just delayed his gas for so long, which delayed his factory, and now he's just massing up tons of Hellions. His barracks are coming out earlier because of all those extra minerals that he has now. He has the 4 geysers up. Look at everything getting researched up there. Everything looks great. But this is happening so fast. He's going to be able to power out a lot of stuff really quickly. And, you know, if you are a Zerg player like Life and you're being perceptive enough to recognize, wow, this Terran player is powering hard. He is not going to be applying that much pressure on me at all. What are you going to do? We're going to do exactly what Life did this game. You're going to be getting a 4th base very, very quickly. So what's really cool about what we see from Taeja is that this all builds up to a very aggressive 1-1 with Hellbat timing push. It's just, it's a strategy that's amazing on this map. Like, so incredibly, amazingly good. Look, I don't even think combat shields done in time for the big attacks. Really simple attack. This is striking a little earlier than Mulus would get here, so this will almost always be safe. In many Terran builds, you just don't quite have the medevacs because you sacrificed the starport to get your upgrades going, or because you don't quite have the Marines to do this and do anything else. Taeja both has the Marines to do this drop with the medevacs, and have a crap ton of extra ground units to be able to make this big push. I mean, Taeja made this look simple, but he's getting those barracks up so early. He's building so many Hellions that this attack has Hellbats in it for reinforcement. And when you look back here, you don't see a Terran base that has skipped out on anything. You see a Terran player who has what looks like an unfair amount of stuff. And it is. It isn't fair. Oh my god, that's so cool. Now, we've been going for 22 minutes, it looks like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to end this segment early so that way we can have a juicy... one of the greatest, actually probably the greatest Terran vs. Zerg I've seen the whole year. It's going to be a proxy hatch versus a proxy reaper. I kid you not. When we come back, we're going to analyze what the hell's going on. Oh my god, it was so good. We'll be back.